All praises to the Most High. Welcome back to another edition of Escaping the Plantation 2.0. All right, listen. So like I told y'all, let's pull that thumbnail back up right quick. Let's pull that thumbnail back up real quick. I want to show y'all what we're going over today. All right, y'all, the 3 types of Edomites then and now, okay? Now, I want you to pull up them images that I had. I had some little AI images put together. Shout out to Austin Baraka in Jackson, Mississippi. I had some little AI art that I had put together to describe the 3 types of Edomites, all right, or the 3 types that we chose to go over today, okay? Let's pull the first one up real quick. Come on, man. All right, so this one type of Edomite right here. This is the, hey, man, we're all equal, dude. I just want to hang out with you guys.
Damn,
the impoverished Edomite. He ain't as well off as other Esau. Right. So this the one that like to hang out with black folks. You got to watch him. Right. You got to watch him real close.
He was on my baseball team. His name was Danny Fisher.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And Danny Fisher will mess you up. Right. You understand? Will lie on you, will get you high, drunk, and leave you, do all kind of crazy stuff. When you sleep, try to do stuff to your body and stuff like that while you sleep. Devil. That's what Danny will do. The impoverished Edomite, he'll have a black girlfriend.
That's what I'm about to say, Captain.
Yep.
He there for the women. He absorbed the cultures to your sister.
Yep. You get with your sister, want to get with your sister, your cousins, and all that. You got to watch Danny, okay? You got to watch the impoverished Edomite. Go to the next one. Then you got the overseer, all right? This is your boss. This is the businessman. This is the overseer, all right? And in today's time, modern times, all right? We're going to show you ancient times as well. Go to the next one.
The devil.
And then you got the elite. This the one that got the top office at the very top of a skyscraper. You understand? You don't see him that much. He working behind the scenes. He the devil, the Bible speaker. All of them the devil. But this one right here more wicked than them all. He don't care about nobody up under him. You understand what I'm saying? He don't care about the peons of the earth, which is us, according to society. All right, so you got the impoverished, the overseer / businessman, and then you have the elite. And we're going to try to dive into all of their characteristics today.
You show about fire.
Right, all praise, Lord's will. All right, so give me that very first image that I had. I want to show y'all. I had posted this in the group, and I told the officer, I said, look at these lies. Let's show the impoverished Edomite and how they lie to try to get you on their side, get simple black folks that don't know nothing on their side. You got me? Pull that up for me real quick. That, Officer John?
Yes, sir. The first slaves imported into the American colonies were 100 white Irish children.
Now, there's some BS right here. The first 100 slaves was white people. Come on, man. Go ahead.
They arrived during Easter 1619.
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead. They arrived during Easter 1619. Go ahead.
4 months before the arrival of the first shipment of black slaves.
So, wait. See, I'm telling white people the devil, man. Why in the world would they sit up there and lie like that when we got books telling you that the Pope started the slave trade in 1441? They was bringing us from Angola, St. Thome, all that in the 1400s, man. In the early 1500s, 1509, they was bringing slaves over here. They gonna tell you the first ones came in Easter of 1619, 4 months before. And a Negro would believe that. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Yeah. I didn't know the Irish went through such treachery. Right. Hell no. Come on, man. Stop playing. So they told you, so you see this lie right here. That's telling the wicked is estranged from the womb. He gonna speak a lie as soon as he be born. Go to the next one. I had another one right after that. I got them in order, so y'all should already have them lined up for me. Go to the next one. All right, look at this. Babes in bondage, indentured Irish children in Philadelphia in the 19th century. Let's read that first part.
Yes, sir. The experiences of childhood, emotional, enhanced by the innocence of youth, and profoundly affecting, are a challenge to the imagination of social historians. Children, even more than adults, submerged in the mass of illiterate and inarticulate people in the past, are largely without historical chroniclers. Study of the influence of social customs of home life, education, and work life requires insight into the conditions of childhood.
So what they're explaining is when the Irish came over here as indentured servants, many of them were illiterate. They were naive, or they didn't know much about American culture, so to speak, right? So they had to be introduced to home life, education, work, all that different stuff. Go ahead.
Not only were attitudes toward childhood different in the past from those of our own time, but there were types of juvenile experience quite different from contemporary forms of childhood participation. This is readily illustrated by the institution of child indentures in the 19th century.
So in the 19th century, when the Irish came over here, children were put to work at a young age. They would work in factories and so on and so forth. These was Edomite children, okay? Now I want to show you something. Go to the next picture. All right, zoom in on that. All right, read that also.
As the immigrants made social and economic progress.
As the immigrants did what?
Made social and economic progress.
So the difference between them and us is they was able to make progress. Right. Black folks weren't able to make no progress, or Hispanics and Native Indians. Go ahead.
They became less subject to victimization through indenture.
Go ahead.
In Philadelphia, the United States Census records of occupations of Irish males in 1850.
We was in slavery.
1860.
We was in slavery.
And 1870.
And we just got out of slavery, but we all had stuff like Jim Crow laws and all that stuff instituted. Go ahead.
Show a steady expansion of skilled occupations.
So they taught them skilled occupations, and they were able to get jobs. Right. Go ahead.
In the last third of the 19th century, the problem of child labor would draw increasing interest of reformers, and campaigns to assert the dignity of working people would increasingly be waged in relation to the massive industrialism that would dominate the economic life of the nation.
So Esau was able to be incorporated into American society. No problem. We tried to do that, and they put hoods on their head, called themselves the Ku Klux Klan, and was hunting us down, killing us, murdering us. The Irish were not slaves, y'all. No. They worked off of debt. Right. But they'll have you thinking that they was on the same level with us. They went through the same thing we went through, to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps like their ancestors did, when that ain't the case. That was never the case. That's all a facade, you understand? Now go to the video that I had, White Trash. Yeah, the video I had of White Trash.
Ladder of success right there. It's clearly some path to success they had.
Yes. They didn't have it the way we had it, right? They were indentured servants. They were just paying off a debt because Esau had to come and get them on the boat and bring them over here. So they're like, look, we bring y'all over here. Y'all going to work when y'all get here. Think about this. If you've been treating Negroes bad for all these years, killing them, murdering them, doing whatever you want to do, and you get some poor white trash Edomites, what I mean is, you understand what I'm saying? They coming from Ireland. They dirty. They don't know nothing. They don't speak the language. Yes, a rich Edomite going to deal with them a certain type of way. But when it come to them and a Negro, they going to make sure they get better treatment than the Negro.
Every time.
Because they still realize, although you poorer than me and lesser of class than me, you still my people.
Yep.
Right? Now watch this. Go to that video real quick. Let's start at 1 minute and 45 seconds. 1 minute and 45 seconds. All right? Play it.
All our new videos. The phrase white trash originated in the 1800s around Baltimore, created by African Americans as slang to describe Irish immigrants and other poor, semi-skilled white workers looking for employment in America post-revolution. The expression...
You see how they blame us? They said black folks was calling them poor white trash. Come on, man. You see how this dude do? Bruh. That was his own people calling him poor white trash. You ever seen the movie Gangs of New York? You remember how they treated the Irish? They said the Irish is almost as worse than a nigga. He ain't on the level of a nigga, but he almost as worse as a nigga. They was calling their own people poor white trash. We wasn't doing that. We wasn't in no position to do that. Right. We were slaves. I'm telling you, stop listening to these people, man. Right. Play it.
South as a way for upper-class Southerners to categorize poor white Southerners who often suffered from various physical and social challenges like emaciation, discolored skin, or alcohol addiction as a result of their poverty. In 1853, white trash was mentioned for the first time in pop culture in a chapter of Harriet Beecher Stowe's A Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin entitled...
Now you see how you catch them in a lie? Apparently we was the one calling them poor white trash. But they just told you Uncle Tom's Cabin was the first time they was called poor white trash. Who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin? A white man. You see how they lie? All you got to do is listen to these men. They'll lie within a matter of seconds. Right. Contradict themselves in seconds. They was calling their own people poor white trash. Not us. The devil! Go ahead.
Stowe believed the emergence of white trash in the U.S. was a result of slavery, which created a poor white population as degraded and brutal as ever existed in any of the most crowded districts of Europe.
God damn you, I thought you know something.
I did as instructed. If there's something wrong, it's wrong with the instruction.
You Goddamn black bastard.
In the decades that followed,
You see that, don't you? Did that look like we was on the same level?
No, not at all.
Esau made the poor white trash Irish our overseers.
Right.
And they whipped our backs and they took their anger out on us.
Right.
Because they weren't able to be rewarded with the same thing in society because they still had a debt to work off. What was their debt? What was the debt they had to work off? The fact that they had been shipped over here. And when they got over here, they used them to whoop us. Damn. That's why every time you watch a slave movie, what kind of accent the overseer got? You bloody Irish. You start going
Roots.
like,
That's from Roots. That dude's
you be like,
Irish.
that dude Irish.
Yep.
Right.
Red head, red eyes, all that. Blue-eyed, red-haired, what they call them, red beard Edomites, straight from the past. I'm telling you. Esau personified. You understand what I'm saying? So they be trying to say, they try to throw us in there like we did that. We ain't do that. We had no idea of anything about that type of stuff. That was them calling each other that. But they want to blame us. But go to Daniel 9 real quick, verse 12. Because I'm going to show you something. Because they always want to try to do that comparison. And this is what the poor white trash impoverished Edomite does. He wants you to think that he go through what you go through. But the Bible don't say that. Go to Daniel 12, 9 and 11.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
We the Israelites, we transgressed God's law. Go ahead.
Even by departing.
We departed from God. Read.
That they might not obey thy voice.
Read.
Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
Therefore the curse is poured upon who?
Upon us.
No, upon the poor white trash, Edomite Irish.
Upon us.
No, it's on us. Go ahead.
And the oath that is written in the law of Moses,
Read.
the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
Read.
And he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us,
Read.
and against our judges that judged us,
Go ahead.
by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
No. Everybody got it the way we got it in 1619. Matter of fact, it was more slaves from Edomites that came over in 1619 than it was black. What did the Bible
For
say?
under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
God telling you the things that his people went through, nobody can compare to. You can't compare to what so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native American Indians have gone through. And throughout our series on these shows as we're going to show you that. We're going to show you what happened to our people in North Carolina, in South Carolina, all throughout the Caribbean islands, all throughout the South. We're going to show you what happened to us. And you're going to stay, you can compare what we done been through to everything that Esau done been through, and you're going to quickly see it is not to be compared. There's no comparison whatsoever. And today, brothers, we're going to go into some of these things that they done to us. Why they're up here trying to stack like we close and we all buddy, and they going through what we going through, and we should be friends and trust them now. You understand? You had something you want to say? Go to the next one. Go to that article I had right after that. It's the article I had put right after that. Yep, y'all on point. Let's zoom in on this. Read that for us, Austin.
The Irish and Atlantic slave trade.
And the Atlantic slave trade. Zoom in a little bit. Word kind of little. There we go. Come on.
It was the Stuarts who introduced the Irish to the slave trade. Charles II returned to the throne in 1660.
What year?
1660.
Okay, go ahead.
At a time when it was becoming clear that sugar plantations were as valuable as gold mines.
Go ahead.
The Royal Africa Company was established to supply slaves to the British West Indies in order to extend production.
Go ahead.
Irish names can be found among those working for the RAC.
Whoa. The Royal African Company was established to supply slaves.
Huh?
Skip down to the next sentence. Irish names can be found among those working for the RAC.
The devil!
The Irish worked for the Royal African Company and rounded up us as slaves and supplied us to the British West Indies to help the sugar plantation.
What?
But they'll never tell you about that. They want you to feel sorry for them, like they went through what we went through. A buddy, best friends. We both impoverished. No, you were slave owners. Right. You were overseers. Go ahead.
Among the most successful was William Ronan, who worked in West Africa for a decade. A Catholic Irishman.
What was he?
A Catholic Irishman.
He was a Catholic, a good old Christian. Go ahead.
The devil!
He rose to become the chairman of the Committee of Merchants at Cape Castle in present-day Ghana.
Damn, go ahead.
His career apparently unhindered by the ascent of William of Orange. In the 17th century, Europeans saw slaving as respectable and desirable.
Whoa, go ahead.
It was conveniently accepted that Africans sold into slavery by their rulers were prisoners of war, who would otherwise have been slaughtered. Thus, export to the Americas offered them prolonged life in a Christian society.
You see this devil? You see how he do? We doing y'all a favor. We doing y'all a favor because y'all probably was going to die over there in Africa anyway. But we saved y'all out of Africa, and we made you good old Christians and put you on the plantations. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't that bad. This is why they want to take it out of our schools. What you had, Austin?
Hey, Cap, you know what? Because a lot of our people here in the South that don't know no history, they be thinking in their minds that we were walking around with bones in our nose, we was uncivilized. So we wake up today, well, we won't woke. We come into Christianity, we say the white man saved us.
Right.
He introduced us to Jesus, to white man Jesus. That's the mentality our people got because the white man be playing them Jedi mind tricks on us.
All you got to do is listen to him speak. Go ahead. What you had, Austin?
Now, I was going to say, if anybody watched UFC, Conor McGregor, he told Jose Aldo, the guy that was like the king of Brazil, he told him, he's like, my people conquered your people. He said, I can go in your land and take your kings and make you bow down. He literally said that to him, and he was Irish. He's Irish.
He's Irish. You're right about that. Conor McGregor, he got a heavy Irish accent, too.
Yep.
Heavy Irish accent. So these folks is the devil, bro. They was not equal to us. But guess what? That's the same thing that we were just seeing in that graphic. Where they sit amongst us as if they ain't done no evil to us. They sit amongst us, steal our culture, want to steal our woman. You understand? Want to learn how to cook our food, dance like us, sing like us. But as soon as you ask them, well, would you trade places with a Negro? They say, hell no.
Oh, no.
Hell no. Captain Emmanuel, you understand? Go to Isaiah 14:20 real quick. So the Irish own slaves, y'all. Not only do they own slaves, they help funnel slaves from Africa to Jamaica, to the Caribbean islands, Trinidad, Tobago, all these places. Go ahead, read that for me.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people.
Slain thy own people. This is Esau. Esau don't mind killing his own people for the greater good. He will kill his own people for the greater good. Matter of fact, give me that next definition I got right after that. Read that for me. Go ahead.
The seed of evildoers.
What do you call them?
The seed of evildoers.
What is Esau called?
The seed of evildoers.
They are a seed of evildoers. It don't matter how they grew up, it's going to come out. It don't matter if they raised around all black folks, it's going to come out. It don't matter if you marry them, it's going to come out. They going to call you a nigga B while they on top of you.
Right.
They going to call you a slave. Well, I saw an article. Holly Berry said it's hard for me to pay child support to somebody that called me nigga when he get mad at me.
Right.
This Holly Berry. You know how many black men wanted Holly Berry back in the day, and she overlooked all them Negroes and went for the white man, got pregnant by him. Now he put her dumb ass on child support? Damn. What? Think about that. A man put a baby in you and then put you on child support. You dumb as hell. He ain't got the child with her. Damn. You understand that? How you get child support? And it's he get child support just for the baby to come on the weekend. He get $10,000 just for the baby to come on every other weekend.
He ain't even watching the
Come on, man.
I ain't never heard of a black man, Hispanic man get child support.
Right. And if he is getting, he got to have all 6 kids. You know, it's got to be some type of rare thing where she make a lot of money and he got all 6 kids.
She on drugs. She strung out on
she
something.
Messed up or something. You understand? Even then, they say, nigga, why did you make them kids? Goddamn. You understand? I'm telling you, man, look. Pull up that definition. Because remember it said the seed of evildoers, and it said thy land and slain thy people. Look, read that for me. This is what that's called.
Collateral damage.
What they call?
Collateral damage.
Esau understands collateral damage. He know that some of his people going to die from that jab.
Right.
He knows some of his people going to die from COVID. He knows some of his people going to die in war. But his people are willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good of their race continuing and being on top. Long as he kill a majority of niggas. That's his mindset. I'm telling you. That's how he think. Read that for us.
Collateral damage is any death, injury, or other damage inflicted that is an incidental result of an activity.
Go ahead.
Originally coined by military operations, it is now also used in non-military contexts.
So collateral damage is basically when you die or you get harmed or you in the way of something. But by you getting harmed by it, it was not necessarily intended to harm you. It was intended to harm a mass crowd, but it harms you instead. But the people that did it are okay with it. They're like, okay, I'm okay with it. They're just collateral damage. They know more Edomites are on government assistance than black folks. They know that. Right. But you don't hear about that. When you see the welfare queen, she black. When you see who is in line at the abortion clinic, it be Edomites going to kill their kids too. You see Edomites at the abortion clinic. And you got shows like Teen Mom. The Edomites are single mothers, teen mothers. And look at them. They making all kind of money. The show's still going on. They ain't been a teen mom in 20 years. Bruh. They was a teen mom when I was a teen. You understand? They in their 30s now, but it still say teen mom. They get congratulated and put out there in front. We do that stuff, which we shouldn't be doing it. But we do that stuff. We don't get no type of understanding of what we done been through or the poverty that we've had to endure. We still consider the low of the low. That's what the Bible's talking about when it said what he said in Isaiah 14, verse 20. Read it again.
Isaiah 14:20, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people.
See, they don't mind killing their own people. They consider it collateral damage. Go ahead.
The seed of evildoers.
And that's why, because they the seed of evildoers, read.
Shall never be renowned.
God said they'll never receive fame in the kingdom, because they ain't getting in the kingdom. Because when you read Revelation 21, all nations on the earth going to be destroyed. We're going to be in a hat. Because God said, well, they done built up the kingdom. What else y'all need them for? Right. You good? Judah, y'all good, Judah? Naphtali, y'all good? Y'all need any more Edomites? Y'all don't need no more. No, we good, Lord. The kingdom built. Oh, okay, I'm getting rid of them then. Lord, going to destroy all of them. I know that hurt. That's a hard pill to swallow, but that's Revelation chapter 20. You understand? He going to burn them with fire. Right. Thank God. Ain't God good? Won't he do it? Oh. I'll pray. Malachi 1 and 4. Yes.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished.
So this is what Edom says. Not only did they say it during the time of the dark ages, brothers and sisters, they say it today. My ancestors had to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. My ancestors were indentured servants. We're Irish. We had to go through what you guys went through. My ancestors never owned a slave. We're impoverished. They said it then. Some of them doing the same thing right now. Read again.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished.
Read.
But we will return and build the desolate places.
Then the Renaissance period, they returned and built the desolate places. Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
They shall build.
God said they shall build, read.
But I will throw down.
But God is going to throw down. That's why if you want America to stand and you're going to get the kingdom, it don't work like that. Some got to go. And it ain't going to be God's kingdom. It's going to be this one right here.
That's right.
So they shall build, but I will throw down. Read.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
And they call them Edomites the border of what?
Of wickedness.
Of wickedness.
The
Read.
devil.
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
You know, there's some Hebrew Israelites out there saying that God was only mad at Esau only. That ain't what the Bible say.
Yes, sir.
It say, and who?
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
God said he got indignation against the entire race.
That's right.
That's why when he judged the entire race, he gonna eliminate the entire race.
Right.
Not just one Edomite. Oh man, I don't like him, take him out. No, God said no, all of them gotta go. They are the seed of evildoers. They so evil they'll kill their own people just to make sure Negroes and Hispanics have a hard life. Impoverished. You understand that? Y'all had some on that? Go to the next one. Esau still in our land. Go to that next one. So you got that first Edomite, man. That's all he talk about is how he just equal to us. And, man, I grew up poor. And I remember one time, you probably remember this. We was on the street Jackson teaching one time. And a lady came up, Edomite came up. I was talking about the stuff we went through. I ain't even got enough money to feed my kids. I said, you a two-time loser. How the hell is your kingdom and you can't feed your kids?
Right.
You know, white folks are more on government assistance than us, don't it?
Right.
So how you can't feed your kids? Something wrong with you. I started.
Bring it out.
I said, let me see them kids. I started to say they real light skin. I said it might be Judah. Might be some little Judah kid. They deny that.
Hey, Cap, that's why I don't understand how white folks stand on the corner with, I need help signs. I be thinking to myself, I said, listen, you better get it right now.
Yes.
Because this is it.
Right.
If you don't get it right now, you ain't gonna have another opportunity. Because the next time we get in the kingdom, and like Cap said, your whole race gonna be annihilated.
After you work for 1,000 years, buddy. Some of y'all, the Lord said, I'm gonna destroy them in the lake of fire. Some of y'all gonna be down in that bottomless pit. Then some of y'all gonna have to work. I think the ones in Europe going to be the one that have to work. I think God hate these ones over here. He got to destroy these ones over here. The one over here going to get burned.
That's it.
The redneck, the you understand, all of your bosses, they all getting burned. The Lord ain't got it. But the ones in Europe going to work. You understand that? They is going to work. Best believe that.
You're going to learn today.
Amalek, who is the devil, going to get shut in the down in that pit. That's just my thought. All right? Watch this. Go to that video real quick. I want you to start at the beginning and go to 3 minutes. We're going to watch it all the way through. 3 minutes. Y'all officers feel free to stop the video if you see something you want to talk about. Go ahead.
African Americans owned at least 14 million acres of land. By the 21st century, 90% of the land had been stolen from them. Now, African Americans only own 1.1 million acres of farmland and are part owners of another 1.07 million acres.
I'm sorry, I got to pause it. So somebody might say, well, at least they still got 1.1 million. No. There's something called eminent domain.
Right.
Where it don't matter if you own it, got paperwork on it, you understand, up to date on your taxes, the white man come in and say, well, we found oil on your land, and we're going to be taking it from you. You understand what I'm saying? We found some type of illegal substance growing on your land, and we taking it from you. That's all they got to do, brothers and sisters. So don't ever think you free. Like, I got plenty of land, I got acres out there. No. They can come and take that. It's called eminent domain. Look it up. Huh? It's a real estate term. You understand? Go back. So we had 14 million. That got dropped down to 1.1 million. Play it.
Farmers and landowners developed multiple ways to take African Americans' land, using methods such as violence, heirs property, tax sales, and Torrens Acts. Of all these, the Heirs Property Act is still in force today, as black owners lose every source of wealth they've created for generations. To understand the magnitude of this land theft, we must examine the extreme measures taken by those who captured the land from African American landowners. Both laws and practices allowed white landowners, farmers, and developers to manipulate the system so they could gain control over the land owned by African American farmers and homeowners. In this video, we're going to take a look at the 4 ways black Americans were robbed of their land and how these robberies still occurs today.
Damn.
Before we get right into the video, please
I want to talk
the...
about something real quick. So you heard how it said they manipulate laws and stuff in place? That's called white supremacy. That's called white privilege. Right. Where I can say, hey, come on, man. All these Negroes taking our land. What we going to do about it? Judge, you can't put nothing in place to help us out? And they'll do it. They'll come in and they'll say, look, we found some type of stipulation in your contract. Maybe you didn't read over it. And they'll change the law right on you. Like, I'll give you an example. Wasn't no black men driving trucks. It's a handful of people in the 80s, 90s. Soon as black people started wanting to drive trucks, now all the laws changed. Oh, now you got to go to school. What? You can't just go learn get your license and then a brother just hire you. No, you got to go sign on with the company that's going to pay for your schooling. Oh, black folks weren't doing no real estate. We weren't flipping houses and had all kind of properties and stuff all around. Soon as black folks started doing that, now all of a sudden when you flip a house, you got to hold it for at least 6 months before you can sell it. Bruh. Because black folks will buy a house on Wednesday, get all their cousins to come over and fix it up and sell it in 3 weeks. Make $100,000 in 3 weeks. They say, oh, no, stop them niggas from doing that. Nope, change up everything. Now they got to hold it for 3 to 6 months at least before you can even sell it. I'm telling you, he the devil. He don't play fair. You understand that? He don't not play fair. Play that.
Subscribe to the channel to keep informed of our eye-opening black narrative. Untold numbers of black Americans became landowners following the Civil War, when the government handed over some 20 million acres, mostly in the South, under the Homestead Act. These property holdings could have provided a foundation for black wealth building in post-Jim Crow America. Instead, they became a source of riches for others. Rather than helping to close the racial wealth gap, blacks' landholdings became a key force in widening it as white people and officials used 4 extreme measures to steal and claim black land. Number 1, violence. With black people getting richer and owning more property than ever before, jealous white folks sought to using violence and deadly force to enforce the idea of white supremacy. The Tuskegee Institute and the National ASSN for the Advancement of Colored People have documented more than 3,000 lynchings between 1865 and 1965.
Hey, remember Bishop showed this past Sabbath, Amalek was the one that started NAACP. So don't think that was all black folks. right? The NAACP had Amalek in it. They was the one that funded it and started it. And we know they the devil. The Bible says the synagogue of Satan.
The devil!
Go ahead. Play it.
And the goal behind them was to bring an end to black wealth, take black land, and uphold white supremacy. These lynchings were not only done by ordinary white people, but some white officials condoned the violence. Several of them added threats of their own. James K. Vardaman, who was governor of Mississippi from 1904 to 1908, was quoted saying, "If it is necessary, every Negro in the state will be lynched."
Damn.
With the start of these lynchings, mostly single families were targeted. However, in some cases, entire black communities were destroyed. The racial cleansing of Forsyth County, Georgia in 1912 and the destruction of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921 are some of the most significant examples.
So
Today,
wait, where's the Irish Black Wall Street? When did they? Because they got Irish communities, right? Where's the Irish Black Wall Street? When did they go through that? I mean, because they equal to us, right? They've been through what we've been through. You know, we on the same level. Where that's at? Now, remember, the first thing it said was the number one way they would take our land was through violence. You got that for me? Habakkuk, you had something? Go ahead.
2,
yeah, go ahead, bring it out.
Micah 2:1.
Micah 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Esau.
When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
That's why they were able to do that. We might covet fields. We
Right.
can't do nothing about it. I want my land back, those 14 million.
Right.
Can't do a damn thing about it.
Nope.
But Esau can.
Yep.
Read on.
Yes, sir. Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
That's that number one way. I'll lynch every Negro in America.
Yep.
Damn.
Take them by violence.
And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
That's it right there.
That's it right there. Hey, go to 1 Esdras 4 and 45. Let me show you something about Esau. He always done been in the midst. When it come to our land and things, he always done been in the midst, y'all. And he ain't never been satisfied with just having land of his own. He can't stand to see us do well. It ain't in him. So when he say he play like he on the same level as us, no, he really trying to overthrow us eventually. Right? Go ahead.
1 Esdras chapter 4 and verse 45. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burnt when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees.
So Esau that's why the Bible calls Esau the daughter of Babylon. Because when the Babylonians destroyed our temple, Esau was amongst them saying, race it, even to the foundation thereof. They burned down our temple. And you know how important the temple was to the Israelites. Right? Skip down to verse 50.
Verse 50.
Yep.
And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute.
Go ahead.
And that the Edomites should give over the villages of the Jews which they held.
You see that? Which they then held. So guess what? Guess what Esau was doing while we was getting our temple burned down and we was taking off to Babylon? They stole our land, our villages, our houses that was built up. They kept it. They said, oh, don't burn that down. Let's stay where them Negroes at. Same thing today. They know many of us going to get our houses foreclosed on. Who be the first person to come buy the house? You bought that house for $300,000. It get foreclosed on. Esau come and swoop it up for $100. Then sell it for $400. He made $300,000 off that house that you was spend your hard-earned money on.
What?
But you fell on hard times and in poverty, and you weren't able to keep up with your mortgage payment. It's the same thing. They love to come into our villages. They love to come. That's why Black Wall Street. Why you think they bombed it? They saw how great it was. You got Rosewood. You got Mount Bayou, Mississippi. You got Durham, North Carolina. Durham, North Carolina had a Black Wall Street. Go look it up. There was a Black Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina. The Edomites said, hell no. They called it Red Summer, where they killed us and took our wealth. Same thing they did with Issachar. Same thing they did with Zebulun, Asher, Naphtali. They did that with all of us. You understand? You had something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to give an example. Give me Habakkuk 1, 7 through 8. This is an example of when they did it to Northern Kingdom and how God explains. It's a precept of Deuteronomy 28. Go ahead.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 7. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves.
So these Edomites, because when you look at the old pictures, they used to hang our children with barbed wire on trees. They would wrap them around in like 6, 7s, and I was like, damn, they wicked as hell. But the Bible prophesies. They like, right. Go ahead.
Their horses are their horses also are swifter than the leopards.
So when you think about how they conquered the Gadites, you know, the Native Americans, they came with the horses. You know, they had shield metal on the horses. They were like, "What? Why is the arrow going like ricocheting off the horses? These horses are terrible." Read.
Right.
And are more fierce than the evening wolves.
Go ahead.
And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far.
So they're conquering everything they see. Go ahead.
They shall fly as the eagle.
Hold on, what animal the guy called them?
They shall fly as the eagle.
So that's why the Romans are the eagle, the Greeks are the eagle, the Spaniards are the eagle, America's the eagle. Read.
That hasteth to eat.
Verse 9.
They shall come all for violence.
For what?
For violence.
So violence. These are violent men. That's why they're going to get judged like Captain was bringing out. They're going to go extinct like it says in the Bible. Read.
Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand.
So whatever they see, they can't have enough. If they see your land, they see you prospering, they're going to kill you. They're going to do the things that we were seeing in the video.
Can you give me that Obadiah? Great gatherers. Yeah, you started verse 2.
Obadiah, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Read on.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Come on.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
So let's talk about the so-called white man. The white man exalt himself as the eagle. Read on.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down.
Because he's up there in space doing space travel and landing on the moon and all that stuff. The Most High said he going to bring him down. Read.
Saith the Lord. If these came to thee, if robbers by night.
So if these came to you, if robbers by night, come on.
How art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough?
So if a robber, just a regular old robber, go in your house and try to take your stuff, won't he get what he need and leave? Esau don't work like that. Right. He gonna take the whole shebang. Right. He gonna leave you on the floor. Come on.
If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some? Would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau so stout? How are his head things sawed up?
And that's what we're doing on the show today. We're gonna bring out every evil thing that the Edomites have done to us.
Right. That's right.
How they take our land and they still charging us for it?
Right.
In the future.
Right. Got us paying taxes on land stolen. Got us going to a courthouse to think we're going to receive justice, and you stole the land and killed the people under it. You broke two of your main ordinances in America. You can't steal in America. You can't kill in America. They violated both of them. They're going to build a courthouse on it and judge your son, put him in jail for life.
Right.
Give me Proverbs 22:28 real quick.
That ain't the devil.
Damn devil the Bible speak of. Read that for me.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 28. Remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set.
God gave us this land. This land over America was given to our brothers, the northern kingdom of Israel. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner by Hosea the king during the time of, or by Salmanasar during the time of Hosea the king. And we was given this land as an inheritance, and we were supposed to keep the laws in this land. Well, we didn't. So the Lord sent our enemies against us, and they stole the land from us. Then once our brothers, the southern kingdom of Israel, came over in droves during the transatlantic slave trade, what they do to us? Same thing. We started to gain land. We were supposed to be after slavery. Everything's supposed to be behind us now. We off the plantation, and what they do? Stole it, burned it down, put water over it, and or put lakes on it, flood it, like Lake Lanier. Whole cities underwater. If that ain't the devil, then who is? Go ahead and play that video. There was a little bit more in there. Yep. Play it.
Georgia in 1912 and the destruction of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921 are some of the most significant examples. Today, Birmingham, Kentucky lies under a floodway created in the 1940s. This town was destroyed by the creation of Kentucky Lake, but at the start of the 20th century, it was a tobacco center with a predominantly black population and a battleground in a 5-year siege by white marauders called Night Riders. On the night of March 8, 1908, about 100 armed whites tore through town on horseback, shooting 7 blacks, 3 of them fatally. The press documented the cases of 14 black landowners who were driven from Birmingham. Together, they lost more than 60 acres of farmland and 21 city lots to whites, many at sheriff's sales, all for low prices. John
See that?
Scruggs
Same
and
thing they do today. Steal it from you and then offer it up for low prices. Same thing they did back then. So Kentucky Lake, before it was a lake, it was a city that had a company in it that was run by predominantly black people. You understand?
What?
That? And that's now a lake, but at that time it was called Birmingham, Kentucky. All right, play it.
Birmingham that night. Property records show that the lot Scruggs had bought for $25 in 1902 was sold for non-payment of taxes 6 years after the attack. A white man bought it for $7.25.
Stop. What we just talked about. You paid $25 for something back then, and then after they stole it from us, killed us and stole it from us, put a lake over it, then that same land sells 6 years later for property taxes not being paid. How you gonna pay property taxes? You dead underwater. Huh? They sell it to an Edomite for $7. That's the same thing as a foreclosure today. He been doing this. Right. This ain't nothing new. Go ahead, play it. Matter of fact, skip forward to 8 minutes even.
Most brutal cases of racial violence to claim black land was the story of Anthony Crawford. Crawford was a rich black American who inherited farmable land on his father's death, which he increased by substantial land purchases in 1883, 1888, 1899, and 1903. In the mid or late 1890s, Crawford was co-founder of the Industrial Union of Abbeville County, which was devoted to the material, moral, and intellectual advance of the colored people. He was also the father of 12 sons and 4 daughters. Crawford was without doubt one of the richest men in Abbeville County. However, his prosperity had made him a target. The success of blacks such as Crawford threatened the reign of white supremacy, as at that time there were obvious limitations or ceilings that blacks weren't supposed to go beyond. For many decades, successful blacks lived with a gnawing fear that white neighbors could at any time do something violent and take everything from them.
Pause it. I wanted you to think about something. All the money Oprah Winfrey got, she go to France, and they tell her, we don't give a damn who you is. You can't come in here. Jamie Foxx, he said, if they kill Jesus, what they going to do to me? Next thing you know, he on his deathbed. Kyrie Irving, all he do is share a tweet, and all of a sudden, everybody in the NBA is against him, trying to take his endorsement, did take his endorsements. Ja Morant pull a gun on somebody twice, and the Negro get 25 games suspended, but he keep his Nike contract. Kanye West, hey, we the real Jews, we the 12 tribes of Israel. Take $400 million from him, $600 million from him. He was worth $1 billion. Next week, he worth $400 million. Still a lot of money, but he lost $600 million in a matter of a week. The white man forced Adidas to say, look, we parting ways with Kanye West. That was one of his biggest endorsements. It's the same thing they was doing then. You understand? There's only a certain ceiling a black man's supposed to hit. He's supposed to stay in his place. Go back. We ain't equal. We don't have equal rights.
Crawford, leading to this untimely demise. On October 21st, 1916, Crawford was taking 2 loads of cotton and a load of seed into Abbeville and had a disagreement over the price of cottonseed with W.D. Barksdale, a white store owner. Barksdale offered Crawford 85 cents a pound for his cottonseed. Crawford replied that he had a better offer. Barksdale called him a liar. Crawford called the storekeeper a cheat. 3 clerks grabbed axe handles and Crawford...
How you gonna tell, you see how his pride of Esau, how you gonna tell him that he ain't got a better offer? He said, no, somebody offered me more money. I don't believe you, nigga. Go ahead.
Where Sheriff Burtz appeared and arrested Crawford for cursing a white man. Crawford was held at the jail briefly and released later that day on $15 bail. While Crawford was arranging bail, Barksdale was organizing a mob with McKinney Cann to whip Crawford and cure him if possible. Sheriff Burtz allowed Crawford to exit from a side door, but the mob saw him anyway and pursued him into a cotton mill nearby, where Crawford took shelter in the boiler room. McKinney Cann entered the boiler room after Crawford, and Crawford, grabbing a hammer from some nearby tools, knocked the man unconscious. Although the mill workers attempted to stop it, Crawford was stabbed and severely beaten by the mob. Sheriff Burtz appeared and arrested Crawford once more, much to the chagrin of the mob of whites. The sheriff could only get Crawford away from the mob by promising to the brothers of Cann that he would not try to sneak Crawford out of town before the full extent of McKinney Cam's injuries was known.
So the sheriff basically was trying to protect him for that time, right? But the sheriff couldn't do it. When you watch later on, what happened to Crawford was 200 white men took the sheriff captive, whooped his ass for trying to take over for a black man, and then they dragged him out and hung him. He was already dead. He was already dead by the time they got to the hanging spot. They still hung him and riddled his body with bullets. Just because he was a rich black man that had accumulated wealth for himself by having good business practices. Because a white man got mad and jealous of him, he had to lose everything. What? Now, is that in the Bible? You best believe it is. Go to 1 Maccabees real quick, chapter 6. I'm going to show you the same spirit. 1 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 55. Let's read that.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 55.
Come on. Go ahead.
At that time, Lysias heard say that Philip, whom Antiochus the king, while he lived, had appointed to bring up his son Antiochus, that he might be king.
Read.
Was returned out of Persia and Media, and the king's host also that went with him, and that he sought to take unto him the ruling of the affairs.
So Philip was going to take over the ruling of the affairs. Go ahead.
Wherefore he went in all haste and said to the king and the captains of the host and the company, we decay daily, and our victuals are but small, and the place we lay siege unto is strong, and the affairs of the kingdom lie upon us.
Read.
Now therefore let us be friends with these men.
They talking about the Jews. They said, let us be friends with these men, because Judas Maccabee, they was whooping these dudes, man. They were losing money. They had already had their own kingdom they had to worry about. Then they had to worry about trying to fight us and conquer us. They couldn't do it. Our ancestors were mighty men. He said, look, let us make friends with these brothers. Let's leave these people alone. Go ahead.
Now therefore let us make friends with these men and make peace with them and with all their nation.
Go ahead.
And covenant with them that they shall live after their laws.
Leave them alone. Let them keep them commandments that they want to keep. Read.
As they did before.
Go ahead.
For they are therefore displeased.
This is why they mad, because you won't let them keep their commandments. Go ahead.
And have done all these things because we abolished their laws.
Read.
So the king and the princes were content. Wherefore he sent unto them to make peace, and they accepted thereof.
Go ahead.
Also the king and the princes made an oath unto them.
Read.
Whereupon they went out of the stronghold.
Come on.
Then the king entered into Mount Zion.
So it says, also the king and the princes made an oath unto them, whereupon they went out of the stronghold. Watch this. Go ahead.
But when he saw the strength of the place, he brake his oath.
Whoa. What happened?
But when he saw the strength of the place, he brake his oath.
When that white man saw, he said, let me go check on these people that we done made a covenant with. He came into our city. He said, oh, hell no. These Negroes is doing good over here. Why did we make a covenant with them in the first place? Why are we giving them peace? Read it again.
But when he saw the strength of the place,
he did what?
He brake his oath.
He said, hell no, I know I made an oath with them, but to hell with that oath. Go ahead.
That he had made, and gave commandment to pull down the wall round about.
Read.
Afterward departed he in all haste, and returned unto Antiochia, where he had found Philip to be master of the city. So he fought against him and took the city by force.
So I want to show you that that's the spirit in Esau. Look, they said, get away from us. Y'all go have y'all own. We go get our own and you burn it down. Y'all go have y'all own. And then you turn it into a lake with our dead bodies up under it. You put laws in place to destroy us and take it from us, to foreclose on it. But I thought you wanted us to have our own. I thought you wanted us separate from y'all. Then they got smart and said, you know what, let's integrate them and we can destroy them from within. That's why Martin Luther King got smart. He said, man, I think I done integrated my people into a burning house. It's going to be bad for us to be integrated with these people. Because now they smile in your face like Bishop was going over this week, them liberals, and what they do, turn their back on you in the end.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity.
won! He's won!